In tough economic times, most companies cut back on expenditure. They might reduce headcount. They certainly don't grow nearly as quickly as they do in good times. The president has encouraged South Africans to create jobs, has encouraged people to invest in the economy. One of the people who has been investing in this economy and creating jobs is Greg Solomon, who is the managing director at McDonald's in South Africa, going counter-trend in many respects in terms of investing in the South African economy. Lots of companies are doing it, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily doing it on the scale that McDonald's has committed to doing over the next 5 years, in the belief that growth will continue to be delivered. At a market value of 2 trillion rand or thereabouts, Greg Solomon, you guys, if you sold every share in McDonald's worldwide, you could fund the entire South African budget for the year and pay some of Eskom's debt. Will you do your country duty and ask McDonald's to do that for us?
We're just here in the little South Africa serving 8 million burgers every single month with 273 restaurants. But yes, the mothership is a massive, massive business.
Do you feel insignificant in that? Because I think out of 36,000 stores around the world, you've got a grand total of 273. You are quite small.
273 really special restaurants. I guess we've just migrated into the medium-sized category, over 250 restaurants. You become a medium-sized country, and and we sort of feel it. We feel that pressure from the globe where the expectations that much better. But I guess when you 273 restaurants, although quite large in South Africa, it gives you the nimbleness to be able to change your brand and transform your brand much quicker than a big market with 14,000 restaurants.
We'll talk about that in just a bit. I mean, McDonald's arrived in South Africa in 1995 and opened a couple of stores, went quite quiet, then eventually got to about 100, then plateaued for an awfully long time. And then a businessman by the name of Cyril Ramaphosa became the country franchise owner, director. He became the country franchisor. McDonald's brought him in with Shanduka, and things seemed to change quite dramatically at that particular point.
He was just that much more ambitious when he became the owner of McDonald's. Certainly visionary, held tremendous accountability on his teams on the way we do things. His vision was to feed a nation, not necessarily take McDonald's to everywhere, but inspirational, visionary leader. And it gave us a slightly different ambition target. Under his leadership, we built 100 restaurants. So it took us to 150, and now we're at 273. So really, really fantastic last 5 years for the McDonald's South Africa brand.
What was he like to work for? I mean, some people are quite critical of his business career. Some people say he did it through empowerment. Some people are quite critical of Cyril Ramaphosa. He was on the Bidvest board. There was a year where he was chairman. He didn't make it to a single meeting. He then apologized and resigned because he was just too busy. Again, stretched in all kinds of different directions. Was he effective?
Extremely effective. Really, really great chairperson. Toured restaurants with me for many days. Got into restaurants, inspirational with the people. A great leader, ran a brilliant board meeting, understood his finance, understood his marketing. So visionary, inspirational, and he set high targets for us to achieve. I
remember once chatting to him just as he took over as the country franchisor, and I said to him, "Have you ever eaten in a McDonald's?" And I said, "What's your favorite McDonald's?" And he said, "A Big Mac." And in that moment, I didn't believe him, because that's the classic response that somebody would give. Big Mac, it's the only thing people know.
3 out of 3.5, let's say 4 out of 10 McDonald's customers agree with the president. They prefer the Big Mac too. So.
He's going to need at least 6 out of 10, but that's on another subject altogether. But did he actually live the brand? Did he eat the food?
The Big Mac, I know, and I've seen him eat a few Mac Royales as well. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word on it. I'll take your word on it, not that of a politician. He subsequently moved on, and when he became the deputy president, he had to put his assets into blind trust, but he sold out of McDonald's South Africa to investors in Abu Dhabi. Now, was that McDonald's losing faith in South Africa and sort of saying, actually, we need to house the ownership of this asset outside the country? What was going on there?
Well, maybe at that point in time we could have said losing faith. Now we got 273. If we look back, these new investors have put another 100 restaurants on top of the plan. So certainly,
how much investment is that in money terms? 100 new restaurants, is that a couple of billion?
We're investing around the 400 to 500 million rand a year in this business, but we're really feeling the momentum, unlike many of the other retailers out there that are not feeling the momentum that we are. So we're really gunno about our market share. We're really gunno about this country, and we'll continue to grow at 20 to 30 restaurants, certainly for the next 5 to 7 years.
I mean, are you recession-proof? Would you say that a McDonald's business is recession-proof in South Africa?
I wouldn't say we're recession-proof, but I would say we've probably been braver than many of the other brands over the last 3 years. When times are tough, McDonald's have stepped it up. We've invested more in our people. We've invested more in our facilities versus, I guess, other brands, if I may say, have sat on their hands a little bit. And we've seen that as an opportunity, and maybe that's why we reaping the reward today.
I want to explore that in just a moment, but give me a sense of last year economic growth was maybe 0.5, 0.7%. Lots of people in October, November, December, just as we came out of that period of 2 quarters of consecutive slowdown in the economy, we're reporting dramatic slowdowns, big retailers, profit warnings left, right and centre coming through in January and in February, horrible results coming out of consumer-facing businesses. You didn't experience that?
No, we didn't. The global business grew at 4.5%. Same-store growth last year, and we were significantly larger than the global business. 6
double
years
digits or not?
Strong single, lower double digits, same-store growth in our organisation, and it's just been really good for us. 6 years of consecutive years of growth, profitable growth too. So,
but politicians talk about the 9 lost years.
No, we don't.
How do you circumvent 9 lost years in an economy which is contracting in real terms because population growth has outstripped economic growth? How have you outstripped the country's growth?
Not to sound cliched, I really think we've transformed our business. We've grown this business into the middle class of South Africa. Our customer profiles is indicative of the South African population. We've transformed our menu. We've looked down our supply chain. We add tremendous value. A Big Mac, fries and a Coke is $39.90. I mean, it's $2.50. I mean, it's really crazy value, and it's affordable for anyone in South Africa, whether you're in Putaditjaba, Musina, Sandton or Tiger Manor. The Big Mac and our value offerings is really good value.
You've opened a McDonald's in Putaditjaba.
Next month we'll open one in Putaditjaba.
No, but that's quite an extraordinary story, because that's not everybody's idea of a hub of economic activity, Putaditjaba.
I have the luxury of one thing I do in McDonald's. I approve every single piece of real estate, and we like to buy real estate where we can.
You are the world's McDonald's as a corporation is the world's biggest property owner, isn't it? I mean, it's.
I think there's a few businesses now in the digital world and the Google world that's probably taken over, but we own a large amount of property, and here in South Africa we own a large amount of property as well. But it allows me to go and see places, and it's just amazing to see the growth, the enthusiasm, and it's amazing to see the disposable income where you look hard enough. I mean, yes, you have to look for the needle in the haystack, but when you got the magnet, it makes it that much easier to find the needle.
Greg Solomon is the Managing Director of McDonald's in South Africa. From Musina to Putaditjaba to Sandton, Cape Town and of course to Durban, the entire country is covered by the Golden Arches. Arriving in South Africa in 1995, a slow start. At one stage it looked like McDonald's might withdraw from the country. Cyril Ramaphosa got involved. They doubled their presence and once again have almost doubled that presence once again. We'll talk to Greg Solomon about how you invest in an economy that many people have written off in just a moment.